That's okay. I've talked about my socks being dirty before too. You're good. It's okay. No. It's the worst when you like will go into like the lunges or like a pigeon pose and you see the bottom of your sock and you're like, what? I don't think I'm that dirty. But it's last week. We're gonna go ahead and get started here pretty soon. Today's flow is a little bit different than the normal, but I want to test out something new. It might even feel the same. I really don't know. I didn't get to try this one before class, but I think it'll be super fun. Intensity is still kind of roughly the same level that a Tuesday would be. I feel like today is more heavily focused towards core, especially throughout the class, but we have a few core segments set up in the middle and at the very end, so don't worry, we'll definitely get our core workout in. Other than that, it's kind of the same movements that we've really been dealing with previously. But if at any point those get too sore for you, you had a really busy 3-day weekend or anything like that, push back in that child's pose, push back into forward fold, take any breaks that you need. Everybody at home, we will be using the weights in the blocks today, remembering that if you want to add a little bit of resistance, go ahead and grab some soup cans, go ahead and grab some water bottles. I saw somebody on YouTube use a wine bottle. I'm not suggesting that. I'm just saying it's an option. Additionally, with the blocks, either grabbing a chair or a box to just prop yourself up on. The blocks are more so for just that height support. At any point in time, feel free to grab that or take those modifications whenever you need it. That being said, let's go ahead and get started in that child's pose, starting your watch if you have one. More so using this time to just bring awareness to all four corners of your body. Try wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes, feeling your forearms pressed into the mat. Taking that full brain scan, preparing your mind and your body for today's class, figuring out what's sore, what's tense, where do you feel energized. Bring awareness to that. Might try box breathing here. In for 4. Hold for 4. Out for 4. Hold and repeat. Slowly letting your chest sink further to the floor. Allowing your muscles to relax. Letting that depth through your shoulders. And try walking your fingertips forward just a little bit further, lifting your hips higher in the air. And try rocking your hips side to side, just to add a little bit of flow if that feels good to you. Take another deep breath in. So we're going to lift up, finding that tabletop position, slightly leaning our hips a little bit more forward. Feel free to just find those spine circles. Deep breaths. Fold creative freedom. Find that point of tension and just let your body stretch into it. Taking another deep breath. Before we head into those extended cat-cows, finding that center with your hips still shifted a little bit over those knees. You're going to take a deep breath in, round out that spine, lift that chest, nose to ceiling, holding at the top, finding a little bit of a stretch. Exhale, squeeze that core round that spine, pushing through the shoulders. Hold, core still squeezed. Ribs to hips. Inhale, lower that chest, lifting it to the ceiling. Slowly trying to deepen that stretch. Exhale, squeeze the core around the back. It's going to be the last one. We're going to go into that extended cat-cow. We're just going to twist our hips all the way to the floor, pushing back. Inhale, expand through the belly. Exhale, push back in that child pose position. Hold and repeat. We're going to go back, hips to floor. Trying to find a deeper stretch here. Round out that back a little bit more. Inhaling through the belly. Exhale, squeeze, push back. Let's try to do one more. Inhale, extend. Expanding through the rib cage. Belly's filling like a balloon, holding at the top. Exhale, we're going to push back, but not into a complete child's pose. Go ahead and curl your toes underneath of you. Shoulders stacked over the heels of your palms. Go ahead and hover those knees up, then push back. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, push back. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, push back. Doing this at your own pace with your own breath, using those quads, pressing through the shoulders, strong core. Let's try to get one more. We're going to push back, find the extended hovering child's pose. Straightening out those legs all the way, lifting your hips up. Find that down dog. Go ahead and pedal out those feet, waking up the backs of your legs. Still breathing, pushing through the back here. Squeeze the core. Ribs are trying to meet the tops of your thighs. Another deep breath in. Exhale, walking those feet to your hands, finding that forward fold. Option to grab those weights here. We're going to take a deep breath in, rolling your spine vertebra by vertebra, coming all the way up to standing, reaching those hands overhead. Loading the shoulders, keeping the core tight. Feel free to take those side bends. Another deep breath in. We're going to shift our hips back. Knees are over our ankles. Slowly lowering down. Find that chair pose, holding here. Glutes, core, and quads are strong. Deep breath in. Filling the belly. Exhale, forward fold over those knees. Deep breath in, hinging at the hips. Back is flat, half lift. Arms coming up, make that Y, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, lowering back down. Doing all again. Inhale, vertebra by vertebra, coming all the way up to standing. Arms reach overhead. Warming up the body, taking those side bends. Exhale, lowering down. Find that chair pose, loading the core, the quads, the glutes. Shoulders are strong. Exhale, folding over the knees, forward fold. Deep breath in, half lift. Squeeze the glutes, core strong, back flat and straight. Go ahead and lift those arms. Pinching the shoulder blades together. And folding over those knees. Setting those weights to the side, we're bringing our hands all the way back to the ground, stepping each foot back. Find that high plank. Holding here, core is still strong. Go ahead and just rock forward and back. Deep breaths in. Exhale, go ahead and bring your knees all the way to the mat. Tops of your toes pressed into the floor. Elbows tight to your sides. We're going to lower all the way down to the belly. Pressing through the fingertips, we're pushing ourselves all the way up. Feel free to look over each shoulder if that feels good to you. And lower back down. Pressing up through the arms, squeeze the core, squeeze the glutes. Option to look and lower. Couple more times. Still pressing through the fingertips. Shoulders are strong. And lower. Last time, we're really pushing. Squeeze the muscles here. Trying to deepen that bend a little bit more. Lower all the way back down. We're going to take both arms, interlacing our fingers behind us. Finding that stretch. Feel free to stay here, or you can grab onto both feet. Pressing the tops of your feet into your fingers. Squeeze the glutes. Expanding through the belly. Deep breath in, coming all the way up. Find that boat pose. Feel free to just stay in that interlaced position here as well. This can be a very difficult stretch. Another deep breath in. Exhale, lowering all the way down. Hands placed under the shoulders. Go ahead and take that deep breath. Center yourself. And on that exhale, we're pushing ourselves all the way up. Finding that base tabletop position. Go ahead and curl your toes underneath and lift yourself, finding that downward dog. Still taking deep breaths. Feel free to pedal out your feet. Trying to get your ribs to meet the tops of your thighs. Press through that back. And on your next exhale, go ahead and lift up that left leg. Send it all the way into the air, three-legged dog. Option to stay here or bend that knee, tilt those hips as long as your shoulders stay parallel to the floor underneath of you. Trying to lift that knee a little bit higher, bring that heel a little bit closer to your glute. Squeeze. And on that exhale, we're bringing our knee to our right elbow, sending it back. Core is squeezed. Knee to the left elbow. Send it back. One last time, bring that knee to center, but we're going to step our foot between our hands. Find that lunge. Let your hips adjust. Deep breath in. Go ahead and lift your hands up. Find that balance. Try to keep that back leg a little bit bent. Trying to lift your chest a little bit higher to the ceiling. Make sure you're still taking those deep breaths. Knee is stacked over ankle. Exhale, straighten that back leg. Feel free to rotate arms, reaching to either side, warrior two. Still taking those deep breaths. Hold here. At this point, if you'd like to grab your weights again, you can. Completely optional. Hold here for that deep breath. We're just going to straighten that front leading leg and rebend. Straighten, rebend. Feel the muscles in your glutes and your quads activate. We're going to build on this a little more. Feel free to bring your fingertips to your temples. Bend that knee. Lower into that side crunch. Obliques are activating. Use that breath. Inhale, lower. Exhale, squeeze. One more. Last one, straightening out that leg. Go ahead and lift your arms directly over your head. We're going to bend that knee, lean, and pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming all the way back up in that little starfish pose. Go ahead and reach behind you. Reverse triangle stretch. Another deep breath in. We're going to windmill ourselves all the way over, keeping that leg straight. You may need your block here if you need a little extra height support. Coming all the way down, find that pyramid pose. What using the block would look like is you're just going to place it right next to your foot, trying to straighten out your leg. Just remembering to breathe. When you're ready, go ahead and windmill the right hand over as well. We're going to bend that front leg, finding that lizard lunge. Go ahead and walk that foot a little bit more to the outside of the mat. Holding here. If it feels comfortable to you, you can also press that knee outside. Get a little bit more of a hip stretch in. Option to lower that back knee if you need to. Couple more deep breaths. Slowly let your hips sink a little bit further. Go ahead and place both hands back down on the mat. We're stepping back with that left leg. All elbows are still tight to our sides. Go ahead and lower all the way down and lift back up, upward facing dog. Option to modify this, bringing the legs all the way down and only lifting into that baby cobra. Another deep breath. Using that exhale, pushing ourselves back up, downward facing dog. Hips high in the air. Gonna go ahead and do the same thing, but for the other side now. So when you're ready, we're lifting up the right leg this time, finding that length. Feel free to stay in three-legged dog, or option to bend that knee, tilting your hips to the right. Shoulders stay parallel to the floor beneath you. Slowly trying to lift that knee a little bit higher to the ceiling. Squeeze the heel of your foot a little bit closer to the glutes. Another deep breath in. Exhale, bringing the elbow and the knee together. Elbow to right knee. Kicking back up. Knee to left elbow. Kicking back up. Last time, knee to center, but stepping into that lunge, slowly letting your hips adjust here. Deep breaths. If at any point you feel like you need the blocks on both sides of the foot, that can help as well. And when you're ready, we're going to bring our hands all the way up, find that crescent lunge. Knee stacked over ankle, loading through the glutes, strong quads. Deep breaths. If you're using the weights before, go ahead and grab them again. Doing the same thing for the other side. We're going to shift our hips to the left, find that warrior two. Hold here. We're in a bend and straighten. Bend. Straighten, using the muscles in our quads to lift us back up. Glutes are engaged. Shoulders are burning. Core is on. Taking those breaths. One more time, coming back into that starfish pose. Feel free to bring your fingertips to your temples. We're going to bend that knee. Come down into that side crunch. and straighten. Bending the knee, side crunch, using those obliques to stay lifted, back to straighten. Paying attention to each muscle you're using while you're using it. Couple more. Slow and in control. Last one, we're gonna bend, side crunch, lifting back up, arms overhead. We're gonna bend that front knee, slowly lean, holding here. Go ahead and pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sending those arms back, right arm overhead, reverse warrior. Feel free to straighten that front leg, reverse triangle pose. Taking those deep breaths. From here, go ahead and fully windmill, keeping that front leg straight. Finding that full triangle pose. Option to use one of those blocks. Whatever setting is comfortable for you. Trying to keep those hips lifted. Feeling that stretch in your inner thigh, through your hips. Go ahead and close that gate. Bend that front knee. Windmill your hand all the way down. We're going to step our right foot to the outside of the mat. Option to stay here or push that knee to the outside. If you need a modification, always feel free to lower that knee back down. Holding for another deep breath. On that exhale, we're bringing both hands back down to the floor. Step that leg back. Coming into another vinyasa, slowly lowering down, elbows tight to your sides, and push up, upward facing dog, tops of your feet pressed into the mat. One big deep breath in, trying to expand. Exhale, pushing yourself back up, downward facing dog. Pedaling out the feet. Go ahead and walk all the way up to your hands, forward fold. Trying to find length through the spine here. Feel free to link those elbows. That feels better to you. One more deep breath in, slowly rolling your spine all the way up to standing. Reaching your hands overhead, little side bends. We're going to slowly lower down, find that chair pose. From here, we're just going to lift up onto both of our heels. If lifting up on both is difficult, feel free to just lift onto one and alternate. Trying to activate the calves here, swinging those hands back, and reach forward. Feel free to grab those weights if you want a little bit more tension through the arms. Just use that breath. Trying to get 2 more. Last one. Heels are lifted. Maybe. Option, just pulse here. 4, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lowering all the way down. Deep breath. Forward fold. Feel free to bend those knees. Length through the spine. Stepping those feet to the outside of the mat, just slowly lowering down. Yogi squat. Hold here for a deep breath. Option to lean forward on those hands or sit on that block. If you'd like to increase the intensity, using those elbows to push your knees farther out. One more deep breath in. Exhale. We're going to come all the way down to seated. Everybody's favorite. From here, we're just going to alternate our leg lifts, keeping those knees bent, toes tap the ground, core's engaged. Deep breath in. Holding at the top, find that reverse tabletop. Go ahead and just alternate extending each leg out. Extend left, extend right, then try to extend both. Core should shake a little bit. Find that tension. Two more. Last one. Bring both legs up. We're just gonna scissor kick them back and forth. Core should be burning a little bit of a shake. Slow and in control still. 5 more seconds. And speed it up. 10-second burnout, you got it. And we're done. Go ahead and let those feet hit the ground. Give your knees a hug. Little bit of a circle. Coming back up to seated. Rolling over top of those feet. Stretching out the backs of your legs. Try not to round out that lower back. Another deep breath in. Exhale. We're going to kick our feet to the side, coming back to that tabletop position. Again, shoulders stacked over the heels of our palms. We're going to curl our toes underneath of us, hips over knees. Send those hips back. Find that downward dog that we all love so much. Deep breath. Again, we're going to take that left leg, kick it up into the air. Back into those knee to elbow touches. Knee to right elbow. Kick back. Knee to left elbow. Kick back. Knee steps between hands, finding that lunge. Deep breaths here. Let your knees and your hips adjust. Go ahead and grab those weights if you'd like. We're going to lift all the way up, find that crescent lunge. This next flow can be kind of tricky. We're going to lower down, reach back, reach up, shift on to that heel. If you need to stand up in between, you can. Lowering down, load the quads, knee stacked over ankle, twist to that bent knee, reach back up, and shift. Make sure you're using your breath, core is stable, slow and in control. The wider your stance, the more difficult it can be. Paying attention to your own intensity levels here. Challenging that balance. Trying to get 2 more. Last one. Reach back up. Find that warrior 2. Left hand overhead. Reverse warrior. Option to straighten out that front leg. Find that reverse triangle pose. Another deep breath. Go ahead and windmill your hands all the way over. Right hand's going to meet the ground. Feel free to keep that left leg straight or bent. Option to use those blocks as well. We're going to take our left hand and reach it all the way up into the air. Use that breath. Staying within your own comfort level. If you need to bend that front knee, please do. Everybody's flexibility is a little different. Hold, taking those deep breaths. Go ahead and bend that front leg. Bring that back leg down onto the ground. Slowly let your hips fall a little bit forward. Take those deep breaths. From here, we're going to lower onto our hip. Go ahead and let that back foot hit the ground. Bringing your toes together. I'm going to do some clamshells. Feel free to grab the weight here. Close the knees. Hips are lifted. Squeeze the obliques. Arm reaches through. And we come back up. Thread through. Cores engaged. Lift through the obliques. Squeeze the glute. Couple more. If you want to increase the intensity, when you open, feel free to add a leg kick out, straightening that leg all the way, and reclose. Only a couple more. Squeeze the glute. Two more. Last one. This time we're going to stay lifted, arm overhead, tap the toe, and reach back. Tap and reach, core strong, glutes are on fire. Don't worry, there's only 2 more. Last one. This time reach overhead, pulse the leg out for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and drop those hips to the ground. Lower that weight. We're going to bring that left foot in front of the right knee. Arm overhead and twist. Stretching out the right glute a little bit. Take any modification that you need. Give yourself a little break. Holding for a couple deep breaths. And on your next exhale, go ahead and untangle yourself. Kick that foot back out. Coming back. Find that high plank position. Elbows tight to your sides. Slowly lower down. And pushing yourself up. Finding another vinyasa. Tops of your feet pressed into the mat. Taking those breaths. One more deep breath in. Expand through the belly. Exhale, pushing yourselves back. Downward facing dog. Pedaling out those feet. We're going to do the same thing, but for the other side now. So taking that right foot, kicking it into the air, toes to the ceiling. We're going to bring that knee to our right elbow. Kick back, strong core, push through the back, knee to the left elbow. Core pushes us back, and knee steps between both hands. Low lunge. Take those weights here as well. Finding your own breath. Your hips get adjusted. Deep breath here. Coming back up, find that crescent lunge. Hands above head. Going back into that same flow. Feel free to close your stance a little bit more if you found that last one to be more difficult. We're just going to lower down, twist, reach back up. Twist. Feel free to add that heel lift if you want to increase that intensity. Make sure you're activating the muscles that you should be. Should be feeling it in your quads, your glutes, your calves, shoulder and back, head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Just taking those deep breaths. Only a couple more. Last one. Sending that arm back, find that warrior two. Feel free to reach over, right hand overhead. First warrior. You want to straighten out that front leg. Catching your breath. Finding a well-deserved break. Feeling a little bit of a stretch. Slowly sinking. And when you're ready, we're in a windmill. Our hands back down to the ground. Legs stay straight. Option to grab those blocks here. Taking our left palm, planting it on the ground, and reaching up with that right hand. Feel free to bend that front knee and place that leg on the ground if that feels comfortable to you. Staying within your comfort level. One more deep breath in. Exhale. If you haven't already, we're going to bend that front knee. Slowly work towards lowering onto our hips and forearm. Bringing our toes together, finding that clamshell. Feel free to grab that weight. Highly recommended if you did for the other side. Using your obliques, go ahead and lift those hips up in the air, knees together, right hand threads through, and then we're kicking back out. Try not to place all of your weight on that left leg. Toes are just hovering above each other. Squeeze the core, staying lifted through the glutes and the obliques. Only a couple more. If you want, feel free to add that leg extension at the very top. Try to get 3 more. Last one. Arm reaches overhead, leg kicks out, tap down, and back up. Lifting through the glutes. Strong core. Only 3, 2, 1. Staying lifted, we're going to pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go ahead and lower down onto those hips. Right foot steps over left knee. Lift yourself up and find that full twist. Stretching through the hips. Take those deep breaths. Still trying to keep that back upright. You don't want to hunch. Keeping those deep breaths. Holding here for another couple inhales. Really expanding through the belly. Catch your breath. Nice time to take a break. And when you're ready, we're just going to shift, still staying on the glutes, but bringing our feet in front of us. Go ahead and lower down onto your forearms if you feel more comfortable. Lifting those feet in the air, reverse tabletop. We're just going to lower to each side. Nothing too aggressive. Give your core a little bit of love for now. Slow and in control, just taking the time to figure out what your muscles are feeling like here. What do you need to adjust? You should be feeling it in your obliques. Lifting through your lower abdominals to get those knees all the way up. And when you're ready, we're going to add something new. So when you get to the side, the highest point of tension, just kick those legs out, bring them back, and do the same thing for the other side. Nothing too crazy. Only a couple more. Make sure your core is what's bringing you back to center, not your hip flexors. Try to get one more on both sides. This time you're going to keep your legs extended. We're just going to make big circles. So combine all those movements together, keeping those legs extended. Core should be shaking a little bit. It's okay. Maybe. Last one. And we're going to circle the other direction. Big circles, slow and in control. Get that muscle activation. Still taking those deep breaths. Last one. Go ahead and lower those feet back to the ground. Deep breath. Feel free to rock side to side. This next one can look a little funny, so we're all going to close our eyes. Go ahead and just bring your knees close to you, grabbing the inside of either one or both your feet. Feel free to come straight into happy baby. You can also straighten out both of your legs as well. Feeling a nice stretch through the hips, the inner thighs. Feel free to rock side to side. Another deep breath in. Lowering both our feet back to the ground. Take your right leg, kick it up and over top of your left, grabbing onto the back of your left leg or your shin. Just rock side to side. Give yourself a little break. Another deep breath in. We're going to send our hands out to either side of our body, letting our hips gently fall to the left, bottom of your foot planted on the floor. Trying to keep both shoulders on the floor. Trying to find a little bit deeper of a twist for your back. And when you're ready, we're coming back up to center. Unhook your right leg from your left. Lift your left, hook it over your right. Feel free to stay here or grab onto that leg, gently pulling it closer to you. And when you're comfortable, feel free to let those hips drop gently to the right, pushing that left leg out. Shoulders are planted on the ground. Nice stretch for the hips. Paying attention, is one side more tense than the other. One last deep breath in. Coming back to center, go ahead and unhook your left leg from your right. Bring the soles of your feet together, gently letting your knees fall to either side of your body. One hand over your heart, one hand over your stomach. We're going to meet here for our last few breaths of class today. Taking this time to bring awareness to all four corners of your body. Might try wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes. Feel the back of your head pressed into the mat. Rise and fall of your chest. Slowly allowing yourself to sink further and further into the floor. You can try box breathing here. In for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold, and repeat. Allowing yourself to let go of any stress and tension built up throughout today. Setting your intentions for the rest of today. Taking that full brain scan. Where are you sore? Where are you energized? What feels tired? Is it even on both left and right side? That brings us to the end of today's class. This is the last Tuesday of this session. I am very sad. However, feel free to sign up back on the Wellbeing website, and we will be able to get you on the calendar invite for next session. There will be a break next week. However, the following week will be the same time and the same days, so I look forward to seeing you then. Other than that, have a good night, and I will see you all again on Thursday.